sure about that one.
Ah, my lowly servant. You're just in time.
What happened to Boshik?
My dear friend Headman Bosek is sleeping off the attentions of these two lovely ladies. They are quite a handful, and an eyeful too. Why don't you take the good headman's key inside for safekeeping?
I'll do that. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough here that's really making me want to really kind of go out and get the game. It really isn't. I'm enjoying my time with it and the fact that it's free, but I don't think I would, maybe a one-time fee, but I don't think I would pay a monthly subscription for it.
Be gone, servant. Do your work and stop bothering me.
I mean, if this was like Guild Wars, where I paid for it once and then they added content continually, there might be something to that. But I'm already upset that they're adding locked content to a game. They're adding locked content to a game that people want. They want people to pay monthly fees for. The whole Imperial thing, you can only get the Imperial... I mean, going back to that, right? Talking about that again. You can only get that through the Collector's Edition. You get very specific gear that's locked to the CE. You can craft very specific gear, again, locked to the CE. There is, like, some rings that you can get that you can trade with someone so you and that other person can get increased experience gain. That one I don't mind. I mean, that's kind of something I've expected from... that's kind of something I would expect from a collector's edition, to give you a slight, you know, speed boost or something. But the decision behind this collector's edition, I mean, it's... especially since I have no idea what kind of bonuses the Imperial gets. You can't look at what their bonuses are going to be. Twitch. Oh my god, he just BAM! Falls backwards. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
The gods have abandoned Stros Makai. All live only at the whim of Headman Bosek.
Drown myself in endless misery.
So, I mean, you know, I'm not able to... I mean, obviously, this is brought up here. I can't really compare the game to other Elder Scrolls titles, not having really played them as much. I've only played them a tiny bit. I mean, it's definitely very different from an Elder Scrolls game. Very different. I mean, it's pretty much just the setting that's kept for the most part. It's a hybrid system of leveling that's a hybrid of the do what you want and get levels for it. Like, I can level anything I use, just I need to have the character points to put into them. But as an MMO, comparatively to other MMOs, it doesn't do anything, in my opinion, that is interesting enough to differentiate itself from other MMOs. I mean, WoW's got, how do I put it, like an established, you know, just an established base. It's been around for so long, so I mean, it's got a lot going for it there. As far as action MMOs, say the Guild Wars, I like the... it's got the weapon system kind of the same, But Guild Wars has like the ability to combine weapon skills with fields and do some unique things there. But I like that a little over Guild Wars. I like that this has. I don't even know how to put it now. I'm like lost for words. It's like trying to think of trying to compare this game. This appears to have the ability to hold threat and things like that Guild Wars didn't have. So there is that. That's kind of nice. There's healing abilities and things like this. So you at least have that. Guild Wars is definitely the prettier game in my opinion. Character models are better in that one at least. So it can't beat Guild Wars there. It's got voice acting on, say, Final Fantasy, but there's just nothing overly unique, different. I feel like it is, and this is what I was afraid of. This is exactly what I was afraid of. I feel it is going to coast on the name, Elder Scrolls. And this was what I was fearing even before I could see anything past the NDA, before I could see this now. Because that was all the rumors I was hearing, is that it just wasn't, they weren't quite fixing all the problems that people had with the fact that it wasn't supposed to be Elder Scrolls. Do I think it's bad? No, I really don't. I don't think it's bad, but neither do I really think it's good. It's not great. You know, it's almost like there's glimmers of hope in everything I look at. Like every single system in this game I look at has some kind of glimmer of an idea that was a great idea, but then it petered out into something generic. Like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? No, wait, let's bring it back a bit. I mean, I like the fact that everything is segregated here, so I can tell what's what. I do, again, like the way the skills are in regards to having class skills and then specific weapon skills, so it's not just about the weaponry. I do like that every class can wear any kind of armor. I mean, so it has that kind of feeling to it that Skyrim had before, or any Elder Scrolls game, where you could wear whatever armor you want. So I do like that, yes, I can wear any armor that I want. I can use any weapon I want. I can be a caster and wield a sword, you know. I can do that. The only thing that really, and yet I'll have class abilities that very specifically are my class. That's really cool. That's a great idea. I think if there's anything, I think if there's anything that could be a redeeming factor on this, is that there's that system that if they expanded on it or made it feel better than it does. The generic weapon fighting, though, is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Only the weapon skills matter. The actual swinging of the weapon is just nothing. There is nothing there. Doesn't impress me. Doesn't make me feel great. But hey, if I can use this, pull something in, use my flame slash, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Where'd I get the axe? I don't think I like the fact that it's very hard to find gathering node. That is, yeah, it seems very hard to find gathering nodes. Like I have no idea what's a gathering node and what's not. Also, I really would love a mini-map. I kind of hate having to keep opening the main map. I would love a mini-map. I know that's not an Elder Scrolls thing, but it's an MMO thing. If you're going to make an MMO out of it and you're going to have me track quests on the world, give me a mini-map. Give me an option to toggle a minimap. For people that don't want a minimap because it's not Elder Scrolls, let them turn it off. But give me a damn minimap.
These double shifts are
My friend, welcome back. Do you have some good news?
Here's the shipping logs, Captain.
Here you are, Tharwab. The shipping logs that show Bosek's defiance of the King's decrees. Come on, it's time to go.
Hey, I'm off this godforsaken rock.
On your feet, man your stations. Prepare to sail.
I dare ask how your Adobe update broke your Windows. How does Adobe break anything?
Home to Betnik. I've missed my clan. Before we leave for Betnik, talk to the crew. Get familiar with them. It'll be a long trip. If there's one thing Master Kassan taught me, it's that knowing your ship and crew keeps you alive. Seems like you'd make a fine captain someday. But you'll have to find your own ship.
Hey, I found a recipe finally. I finally found a damned recipe. I can make spiced wine now. How awesome is that?
This should be an interesting voyage. Quite a crew Colleen has thrown together.
Who are you?
Vimy Lacroix. I'm a collector of sorts. One who travels to places others dare not go. I hoped to join Naramo's expedition to Bizarre. When I heard he had completed it and was sailing on, I just had to come along.
What do you do exactly?
You're inquisitive. What I do well. You'll be glad to have me on this voyage if we encounter slavers. And I make a wicked sliced ale.
Sold!
Again, sailors flock to the spearhead. For this, Kassan is thankful.
Who are you?
Master Kazan is but a humble sailor, though others will tell you stories. Some whisper the name Kassan Fiveclaw, terror of the seas. Yet these are stories for children. We have better things to do with our time, yes?
What can you tell me about the captain?
Some call her the Dune Ripper's daughter, others the Forebear Witch. We, her loyal crew, call her Captain Kalin. She is a master sailor, though Kassan now wonders where her allegiance lies.
What do you mean?
There is a Forebear king and sentinel now, Vaharajat. He has allied himself with the Bretons and Orcs in this Daggerfall covenant. Kassan fears his apprentice stinks smudge of Vaharajat too much. A true sea rover has no such loyalties.
Captain Kalin is your apprentice?
Kassan taught Kalin much, though she is her own woman, strong and proud. Kassan is grateful to help her find her way. She is a worthy successor. All that was once Kassan's is now hers.
I am the Rat Slayer. So another thing, like, since I'm going on a rant and complaining about the game now, because I was really honestly and truly hoping that this game would wow me when I finally got into it. You know, I had heard so many bad things, and I'm like, well, maybe people are just judging it on the fact that it's a bad Elder Scrolls game, right? That was the thing. I'm like, there's a difference, right? Is it a bad game, or is it a bad Elder Scrolls game? There's a big difference. A bad game is a bad game, no matter what. A bad Elder Scrolls game could still be a good MMO. Unfortunately, it appears to be a generic, forgettable MMO.
Hungry?
But oh man, what was I going to complain about? Damn, now I forget what it was. Oh yes, I dislike the fact that things like treasure chests are only findable by one person. Like I saw a chest, saw someone open it, saw the chest go away. I'm like, how do you do that in a game that's going to have a whole bunch of people wandering around the world? Like, why? Why? It just seems weird.
Really, how did they eat this stuff? I'm going to teach Fenlil a thing or two about cooking.
So you're a cook?
One of the finest, my good friend. I used to own my very own tap cafe in Wayrest, before that thug Ugers closed me down. I hope to open another one, once I collect enough coin. Maybe in Daggerfall.
How long will I be streaming for? Well, I'm honestly planning to get off this island. Kind of finishing up right now, talking to the crew. I want to get off the island. I'm probably going to stop there, at least for today. I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to want to pick it up again or not. I kind of want to try some of the other classes to see how they feel. See if the weapon skills are any different between classes, which I don't think they will be, but I'd like to know. And see how they feel with different skills. You know, a mage with a katana or something. You know, is that weird? Is that good? Is it bad? I mean, you would think they would completely use staves, but you can use any kind of weapon, so there's no penalty for it. If there's no penalty for it, then why not? Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of what they're doing here, yeah, the whole chess thing is kind of an old, I mean, even old WoW did that, I believe, for a time. So yeah, it's very much an old school MMO throwback. But there are so many more tools that are better now, and so many MMOs that don't do that anymore. I saw Force complaining about the fact that objectives on quests don't get completed by your party members. So if I complete part of an objective, you don't get credit for it if we're in the same party, which is silly. I mean, every game does that now. Every MMO does that now. You know, I mean, I think that what really sucks for them is the fact that WildStar is also coming out, and they have gotten a lot of hype. And I think WildStar is going to end up being a really good MMO that people should look out for. I just don't think this is going to cut it. I just don't.
I knew Captain Colleen would get another crew together. When she wants something, she gets it. Why else would I be cleaning her cabin? I wanted to be... Oh, kind. Yeah, Colleen did. With help from Lambert and Tumasha, I mean. And Master Kassan. She's amazing. Well, I did... She said it was a good lift. Taking her spearheads the fastest galleon on the seas. Master Kassan gave her to Captain Colleen when he retired. He taught her all she knows about the sea. Once the captain gets a new crew, we'll be off again.
Okay, so she doesn't say anything new. I think I've talked to everybody.
What do you want? Of course, I'll pull my weight, unlike Jakarn. He's not getting near another woman until I'm too old to stop him. And we Altmer live a very long time.
Poor guy.
Captain Colleen took her time getting off this damned island. Doesn't surprise me. Orc problems aren't her problems. but we'd be stuck here if not for your help. I won't forget that.
The spearhead's no maiden's breath, but at least she doesn't have a giant hole in her side. I'd be happy if we never saw land again.
Stros Makai's a depressing place. Too many red guards waving their damn swords around. At least on the spearhead, no one wants to kill me except Irian. Shook him around. She's crazy about me.
When active, Dwemer spiders have an extraordinary capacity for learning. Now I have to stop Andrillium from teaching Clanker to bring him drinks.
Before we leave for Betnik, talk to the... Then we leave for Betnik, an orc island that hasn't yet joined the Covenant. I hope to change that. Lembor's happy to go home. She may try to thank you with ale. My advice? Make it to 6 mugs. You'll have a friend for life.
I have no idea where I actually am. Oh well. Looks like another starting area, kinda, because it doesn't appear to be attached to the main continent.
When my crew turned traitor, I never thought I'd see Betnik again. Feels good. Head into town and get a drink. This is home, and we'll be here for a while. Here's your cut of the take from the heist. Careful here. These orcs aren't yet part of the Covenant, but I'm working on that. Feel free to check out Stonetooth Fortress. Maybe you'll meet a nice orc. They aren't fools, proud as the Seamount clan are. They can't deny the Covenant's strength in numbers, and they'll make a mountain of coin selling weapons to our alliance.
Alright, yeah, let me see here. Did I just gain a level? I did gain an Ardent Flame level. You know what I need to do? I need to at least get my ultimate to see it. I want to see how these work. I need to at least get that far. Am I going to do vids on WildStar? Yes, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. Here's the problem. WildStar is kind of like this game, and that NDA was still up for a while. Excuse me. NDA has been dropped for the first 15 levels, but only to select people. So I can't do anything with it right now, even though I'm in the beta. I haven't really been playing it much. I'm going to be very honest. I haven't been playing it much. But part of that is because I've been playing other things. I've been playing Final Fantasy, other games that I can, you know, actually get videos on. So not being able to do anything on WildStar has kind of kept me from really playing it too much. But it's a game that I've actually kind of enjoyed. I actually think it's going to be a really good action MMO. It's got some really good ideas in there. It's got some unique ideas as far as things like healing. Since it's going to be completely action-based.
Good thing you sailed in with Captain Colleen. Outsiders aren't welcome on Betnik, especially not now. Bloodthorn cultists attacked the fortress. You're lucky you don't look like them, or you'd have a spear in your belly. Of course, we slaughtered most. The rest fled. We stole something from the chief, but we'll get it back. We'll mop them up as soon as Chief Tazgul raises the army. You want to know more? Ask Lambur.
What I would suggest is if you're interested in WildStar, is they have a channel. They have a YouTube channel, and there's a lot of dev speak
So many
videos.
dead. You'd think even Bretons would know better than to attack an orc fortress.
So the WildStar channel has a lot of like the dev speak things are some of the best things I've seen when it comes to devs talking about their game, because they've got a sense of humor, and it also gives you an in-depth look at how their game mechanics are going to work. They have introduced all their classes, and honestly, they give a lot of information regarding the game. Everything they've talked about, I've seen in the game, which is good. The game had some issues when I first started playing it, and I stopped playing it for a few weeks and then came back to it, and they had cleaned up the UI and some of the other stuff so much. I was like, wow, this game is making a lot of progress in a short period of time. I'm surprised they still don't have a release date. I'm guessing it's probably a good thing, you know, they're trying to make it as good as possible.
Cultists attacked our fortress, Kazungash. They thought their magic would be too much for the primitive orcs. Funny that magic doesn't work when a mace caves in your skull. Bloodthorn. Necromancers who think too much of themselves. After we stopped the attack, Chief Tozgol ordered us to burn the bodies. Don't want them raising each other, eh?
Okay. Maybe I'll just get far enough to get the ultimate. I kind of want to get that.
Greetings, friend of Lambor. How can an old orc help you?
This was part of a larger plan, I'm sure of it. The Bloodthorn cult assaulted the fortress. They were repulsed, but they stole a Breton scroll the orcs found here long ago. Chief Tazgol thinks the attack failed, but I'm not so sure. The cultists retreated after the initial assault. They came here to steal that scroll, I'm sure of it. But why? Have they set a trap for us? We must know before the chief decides to attack. Start with Shaman Laganak. She witnessed Bloodthorn rituals in the Carved Hills. She's waiting by the Longhouse south of here. Cultists were also seen at Morriselli to the north, and Grimfield west of here. It's an Ayleid ruin. Years ago, Breton raiders attacked us. An outnumbered patrol held there for weeks until they were wiped out. Later, our army destroyed the raiders. It's just a ruin, really. I don't know what the Bloodthorn want with it. It's a graveyard. Not ours. Breton. When we conquered the islands hundreds of years ago, War Chief Isgol left it intact out of respect for our enemies. We don't desecrate graves, but the Bloodthorn cult will. Plenty of fresh bodies. It's mostly wilderness. There are Ayleid ruins, but they were looted long ago. I don't know what the Bloodthorns want there, but Laganak might know more. Greetings.
Alright, let's see how much experience I get, because I am getting close. I really do love this pull-in chain I have. God, it's got good range on it too, from way back here.
at peace, ancestors. The souls of the dead are restless. Ancient warriors who died in battle against the Bretons now rise. Who calls to them, and why? You are one of the newcomers. Another of your group, the mage Naramo, went to see what he could uncover. Find him and learn what he has seen. Be careful.
Whoops.
Foul magic taints the air. Perhaps your learned friend can shed some light on this dark mystery and help you to bring an end to its source. The aliens, wild elves as some call them, have always fascinated me. They are long gone, but their ruins remain on Betnik. From these we glean how they lived and died so many years ago. We are not all warriors, and we are far from the savages outsiders assume. Some of us wield a quill as skillfully as others wield warhammers.
Just chase him down and swing my sword around. Huzzah! Hey lights. I'm not super lucky. I have generous friends, is all. I honestly don't know what happened. I signed up for the beta and they didn't have an account for me after I tried to put in the number. I don't know. I think that my application got lost somewhere. You know what, I'm going to actually equip my destructive staff so that I can level it a little faster.
Ah, my old friend. Couldn't resist another exploration? Be mindful, this one may be a touch more dangerous. Foul necromancy is at work here. The mysteries of Nirn span beyond the Dwemer. The aliens fascinate me in equal measure. I had to see this place for myself. The more vexing mystery at present, however, lies with these orc spirits. Even you must have noticed the ghostly figures in the field. This is no ordinary haunting. Something brought them back and binds them here. I suspect the answer is inside the catacombs. Indeed you should. The ruin is sealed magically, but it is a minor challenge. I shall unseal the door for you and await your return. My research is best done in safety. Just like old times, isn't it? I do like to have such a useful tool ally with me.
Yeah, thanks, pal.
A proper application of magic to these stones, and the way...
So if I pull out my map, other people see me holding out my map? That's kind of neat.
You are not one of them. You have not the taint. Help us. Free us from this torment.
I am Targoth, war caller of the Stone Wolves. Cultists have violated my tomb, and those of my warriors. The vile priestess Drusilla leads the cult, dragging our spirits back to this realm. In life, I wielded a magical war horn. My soldiers obeyed it, hearing its call across all barriers. Drusilla now uses it to call my warriors from beyond the grave, binding them to her will. She is in the lower chambers. Kill her before she can send my soldiers against our descendants. That will free me from her bonds. Then the horn can return my warband to its honored rest.
Well then. I can go into the lower chamber, but is there anything else around here? Okay. Patriarch offered curses, threats, no useful information, died during interrogation. Older male claimed Chief Tuzgul has intense fear of scorpions, likely fabrication intended to reduce pain, died during interrogation. Older daughter broke quickly, showed promise, sadly knew nothing, died after interrogation. Older son killed self before interrogation could commence. Sloppy must remember to acquire new manacles. Youngest son. Let me see. Revealed hidden entrance beneath Great Hall. Possible link to library. Will keep alive until story is verified. Morning addendum. Verified son story. Ah. Which means he's probably dead. So how did I get this? Well, I have generous friends. I have friends that got into the beta and they gave me a key. I had like 2 or 3 that offered. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm like, well, you know, the NDA dropped, so I finally decided, yeah, I'll do it since the NDA dropped. I'll stream it. I'll probably upload the VODs to YouTube, and that'll be that. I honestly had no interest in the game. I didn't. Nothing about it really screamed out to me that I was going to want to play it, and I'm like, you know what, I should at least give it a try while I've got the chance. So that way I can know for sure, you know, that way I could say, if I didn't go into it, why didn't I like it, or, you know, is there a reason why I shouldn't play it? What in the world is going on here? Oh, there she is.
You have freed me, but my warriors still cry out for an end to their torment. I overheard them mention the ruin of Karzog's demise. Whatever they're planning, it is to take place there. But that is not my concern. Now that you have the horn, free my warriors, return the horn to its rightful place atop my tomb in the next chamber. Then my warriors will rest once again. Then you condemn my warriors to further degradation. Surely you have more honor than that. We no longer belong in this realm. Our battle is over. Let us have peace.
Oh, but I want to keep the horn. I want to have my own private undead army. Here, you know, I don't mind. Let's do this. I'm going to do this. Da 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 da. Da da da. There you go. Have fun with that one. Do do do.
Hola.
Salutations.
There we go. Muted the stream. Hopefully you hear me okay. I may have to adjust the volume and stuff. Hopefully I don't. Is that about right?
I hear you all right.
You're not echoing when you talk.
No, don't appear to be.
Your efforts honor us, champion.
Hate reinstalling PCs, man. Absolutely hate
my
it.
warriors return to rest, and so I shall.
So yeah, don't update your Adobe Photoshop.
Be bold, warrior.
It's not a good idea right now.
Cultists still plague this island.
Well, I'm glad you finally got into beta to see what I was talking about, why I was ranting and raving. I mean, if you've played Skyrim at all, you know this isn't anything like the other Elder Scrolls, unfortunately. And the crazy thing is, it used to be. I mean, you know, because I wasn't on the closed beta way back when, you know, in early generation, and then I don't know, there was like a direction change or something, and it is what it is now. But I agree with you. I mean, it's just, there's nothing impressive. It just feels like a cookie cutter MMO with slight Elder Scroll content blended in here and there. I mean, there's no wow factor like it was supposed to be. I mean, they used to have it such like it was like original Elder Scrolls. You would hack and slash, and you would control the timing, and the direction, and the way you would swing. And the same as goes for blocking, and they removed that. People were complaining, you know, that I guess their feedback was that it was too hard to, you know, for an MMO to do that. They wanted click and forget type combat. So it has morphed into what it is now.
Well, I can kind of understand. I figured that the true style of combat that Elder Scrolls had would be a little bit difficult for an MMO to do.
Yeah, but that was one of the big draws and why people liked Skyrim so much, is that it was such a big open kind of, not truly a sandbox world, but a sandbox world, if you will, combined with that kind of combat, first-person style combat. And if you take those two things away...
Sad part is like I said, I think the way this game could have like really differentiated itself was where in the character the character development, like the fact that you've got the weapons, right, and the weapons are the weapons. You know, no matter as it appears, having not played any of the other classes yet, if you use a sword and shield, you get the same skills no matter what class you are. Same sword and shield skills, the stab, all that.
Yes.
So that's interesting to me, because then all the classes use those same weapons. Okay, so that means the classes really have no difference. But then you have class-specific skills with 3 trees, a la like a Warcraft, which 3 trees with different skills in them.
The different abilities, yeah.
So that's cool. So you have a class that actually has unique skills, and then you have weapons that add on to that. Unlike Guild Wars, where the weapons are pretty much everything.
Yeah, yeah. So
Although
it's very much like Skyrim kind of sort of did.
That's not. I mean, and that's not entirely an honest statement, because when you think about it, Guild Wars' weapons, even though everybody used the same types of weapons, an engineer would use like a rifle sometimes a little bit differently than someone else would.
Well, what they did in this was kind of like Skyrim, where you could roll a character that was you intended to be a mage, and then you could be a mage that learns heavy armor and sword if you want, and you could do that. They kind of kept that in this, and that's one of the things that they wanted to do. So I agree with it, but what I absolutely cannot figure out why they decided to do was have your crafting skills in along with the points that you would apply towards your combat skills, because it was not. It sort of was that way in Skyrim. Like, you would have to plunk points into blacksmithing, for example. And you were limited on the number of points you could level up to. So it was kind of that way in Skyrim, but I think that's why they kept that in there. But it really does feel pretty limiting compared to what you can do with Skyrim. So it's I don't know. And I'm not impressed with the graphics engine. They changed it. They were running what Skyrim was running. I forget the name of the engine, but then they changed it. Sometime around, I think last time I played the open beta, when it went open, they changed it so it could run on more lower-end systems, if you will. And in doing so, that's when I noticed they added a lot of bland textures and things like that that detracted from the game when you really got close up. From a distance, they look great.
Yeah, honestly, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I mean, it's not as great as it could be, and obviously, I don't think having those grand sweeping graphics is really a great idea for an MMO, considering how many people you can have on screen, special effects going off. It's very difficult to do that and do it smoothly. Now, Lights is saying he thought this was a free-to-play. No, Elder Scrolls is not going to be free-to-play. It is going to be a subscription-based MMO. Now, what is this I'm hearing about a cash shop? Is there actually a cash shop in the game? I haven't gotten to a point to find one yet.
Yes. That was another big contention point for me. So it's going to be a subscription MMO with locked exclusive content that you must purchase. Their definitions of it in the forums were, think of it as like WoW expansion packs. But they're going to be a lot more of them, they're going to be a lot littler, and yes, they will have some exclusive stuff. I don't know if they're planning on having it be like armor sets or, just like apparel stuff or what. But there's also going to be some sort of... I'm not sure if they're toying around with the idea, if they implement it, because like I said, I haven't been following it since I got so pissed off at it. I was like, okay, this is... I'm not going to follow it much anymore. And here I see you're live streaming it, and I'm like, holy shit. So, but basically, I think they're kind of toying around with the system with the cash shop. Where they want a system, kind of like EVE Online has, where if you've got somebody who's a serious game player, they can play the game long enough, they can maybe craft or collect enough stuff and sell it to the point where they can trade for like basically what would be their normal subscription fee. So they could essentially play for free. And you're going to have the other people who will be able to buy stuff like that with real cash to help speed up progress so they don't have to farm forever, for example. So that's what they were toying around with the idea on last I heard, and I think they did implement that. But again, you're not high enough to get there to confirm. I think you got to be like 15 or something in the next major city. But I wasn't too... I don't mind that if it's done right. But there's going to be a lot of people out there, specifically the... Well, I hate to point fingers and be racist like this, but like the Asian cultures. If they like the game, will put a lot of money into it. Through a system like that.
Now, read the scroll.
then they'll have a lot of
Ritual it
stuff.
holds will send you into the spirit realm.
It might be to the
Should you
point, though, if they're not
succeed,
careful,
I
that
will
it will be overbalancing and some players will get,
In the name
you
of
know,
the
to kind of control markets,
enter
if
the
you will.
spirit realm.
Lights, standard subscription fees apply. You're looking at same price as like anything else, like about 15 a month roughly.
Perhaps an ancient
Oh, they've already announced the price. It's 15 a month.
We'll try the ritual in our lair.
Well, look who's here.
Which is a bummer.
Let me guess. You want into the Bloodthorn secret lair. I unburdened their secret entrance of its lock. I've got your back, good looking. Looking for you? Sure. Attractive.
Have you played around with the KageKaze yet? Cat race?
No.
You should create one of those characters. It's pretty cool, the options you get from character creation. With like the fur and the face and the fangs and different color tips and stuff. They really did go hog wild with some of that.
Oh yeah, I already noticed that a lot of the character creation options are massive.
And I really don't like the gathering nodes, the way they did it in this.
Yeah, I can't tell a gathering node from anything else in the world.
No, it's hard to find them. They had a feature that they removed that highlighted them, but too many people said, "Oh, that's not Skyrim-esque," or Elder Scrolls-esque, and they removed them. So some of them are actually pretty hard to find. So I guess it's kind of nice in that respect that it's more like the Elder Scrolls. But it'd be nice if you're trying to craft to be able to find that stuff. There were several mods that for Skyrim that later became official mods anyway that highlighted like your veins and stuff like that, so you could find them easier.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. You know, you should always leave it as an option. You know, if people don't want it, then fine. I mean, you're talking about a game in an MMO that's going to have an economy, and you know,
you
want people to find the stuff. Yeah.
Burn these herbs at each shrine.
So I don't know. It just it feels like, and I'm seeing it again when you're playing it. It has elements of Elder Scrolls in it, and some of the way the art is done, and the terrain, and the graphics, and the storyline a little bit. But
Leave my room at once.
it also feels very cookie cutter MMO, which is not what I was expecting when the whole thing got kicked off.
I'm sorry.
I was basically hoping they wouldn't change anything and keep it kind of like an online multiplayer version of Skyrim. Which they can do because there's a mod that allows you to do that in Skyrim. It actually works pretty well. But the abilities are kind of interesting there. And how you lock them up and stuff. One of the things that they decided to do too is to help you experience the game environment in the world. You will be able to find through quests and through special events and stuff like that additional points to attribute points, basically.
yeah, which is good.
Have you done a dungeon yet?
Like a proper dungeon, probably not.
Can't remember what level you get those at in the beta now. I think it's 10. The traps are so obvious. It was kind of a real bummer for me. Because that was part of the dungeons and like the Skyrim is sometimes you trip something not seeing it and it'd not be a good thing, it'd kill you. Here they're so obvious, it's like, huh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your overall impressions? Just meh?
I'm not overly I'm not really overly impressed. I mean, it's got glimmers of ideas, of good ideas that didn't follow through. I mean, again, the whole weapons system plus class system is a decent idea that I think could work out. But I mean, I think they've made it too convoluted.
This reminds me of the grave memories.
The whole idea of the weapons leveling, but the weapons leveling don't give you skill points for the weapons. Skill points by leveling gives you skill points for everything. So if I want to level up a weapon, it doesn't matter how much I use it, except for the fact that it will allow me to put a skill point in a different skill. I don't earn skill points from using it. I only earn the ability to put a point into it.
Yep.
Which is just weird. And
yeah, that's what I thought.
And beyond that, I mean, to think of crafting being part of that, like, why would I put a point into crafting from my combat classes?
Well, like I said, because that's how the game Skyrim does it, but like with Skyrim, you unlock the ability, like if you put in points into blacksmithing, for example, you would first unlock, I can't remember what they are, iron, steel, and the ability to craft steel stuff.
Good looking.
But it was only like, the trees are only 10 points long, so they might be trying to do the same thing there with that.
Yeah, but you could legitimately level up in Skyrim using things like crafting.
Exactly. You could literally level them up by using it. You can't do that here. So I don't know why they did that. It's really bizarre.
It should have had its own leveling system with its own skill points. Kind of like the weapons. The weapons should have their own skill points so that you can unlock them. I mean, kind of like, that's what that's the funny thing, is they're trying to emulate Guild Wars here. But Guild Wars did it that way. They gave you a weapon and you didn't level it and you didn't gain abilities with that weapon until you actually used that weapon. And then your level didn't matter. You got the weapon skill because you used the weapon.
Yep, that's exactly what I feel like. They mimic. I'm seeing little bits and glimmers of, like I said, of mimicking other MMOs, and not really doing anything that stands out on its own as, a new feature for an MMO. Or if there are, like I said, they're half-ass implemented. But it definitely doesn't have the overall bang. This is a new MMO. This is a Skyrim storyline. It feels like cookie cutter with little bits of Skyrim thrown in. That's the impression I get, which is sad, because it didn't used to. The thing that makes, and you don't really see this because you haven't played the other, betas, but I can tell you from closed beta back, like when they started this project, this is an entirely different game, and that's why I'm so angry, because they had it, and people were saying, "Oh, it's not going to be good enough for the MMO crowd." And they completely forgot their target audience, which was not the typical MMO crowd. So the devs basically caved.
Hello.
So, and that's why I'm not happy with it.
Well, the thing is, if they would have done it right with the whole Skyrim, or the whole Elder Scrolls thing, it might not have been good, it might not have been right for a MMO crowd, if that's what you're trying to draw in. But then, if you're going to draw in the MMO crowd, you've got to go and do that part right. You can't do that part half-assed. So if you do that part half-assed, then you alienate the MMO crowd, and you alienate the people who want a good Elder Scrolls game.
But see, that's
so you've lost out on both audiences.
Not really, because the people who are interested in this, the mass majority of the original people who signed up for the beta and stuff like that, were dedicated hardcore, your dedicated hardcore Skyrim type players who did not like the typical MMO. They liked this. They like Skyrim. And then, so they basically, when the whole dev switched everything up, they basically said, you know what, we're going to target this after the typical MMO crowd. And I think they're going to lose a lot of customers due to that.
Okay.
The overall feedback that you're seeing on, well, like you said, on the forums and everywhere you've been seeing, is that it's not what people were expecting.
So let me take a look at what I've got here. I can turn Destructive Touch into Destructive Clinch. Magic damage to target. Fire causes knockback. Frost causes freeze. Shock causes disorient. New effect adds additional elemental effects. Doesn't tell me exactly what, but that's kind of cool. This one is increased range, so that's kind of neat. Now that's the other thing. I like the ability to morph an ability into something else. Yep. I think that's a really neat idea. I kind of wish it would tell me what it could do when I mouse over it, or if I could click on ability that I don't have to see what it can morph into. So I have no way of telling where I should spend my points.
Well, you do have advanced tooltipping turned on, right?
Possibly.
You should check, because it is an option.
Where would that option be?
Main settings.
Action bar.
Almost. Yeah, I don't know if you have it on or not.
Gameplay.
Indicators. Targets, no.
I mean, I haven't seen anything that indicates the tooltips I'm looking at are not advanced.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, there is no way to see, as far as I can tell,
It's not telling you, yeah.
what it's going to split into until it happens, because you have to click on this thing, the little icon on the side, to say morph.
Huh.
Alright, well, I've gotten to... Oh man, I'm not level 12 yet. I need to get level 12 with my Ardent Flame. Damn it.
We'll go use it some more.
Hello.
Yeah, you don't have much.